Alright, so my speech is about the importance of wilderness survival. Alright, so according to the Charlie Project, which was a online database for missing persons, in the spring of 2017, a 22-year-old Jacob Gray rode his bike into the wilderness of Washington, into the Olympic National Park, and was never seen from again. That was until a year later, where his remains were found in a secluded area of the park. Now, unfortunately, this sort of tragedy isn't too uncommon in America, as according to David Paulides, who is a author for the book series Missing 411, over 1,000 people go missing in national parks every year. Now, obviously, no one wants to be one of those people who ends up not making it out. So I've decided that today I'll be talking about the importance of wilderness survival and just knowing the basic skills that will keep you alive. Now, wilderness survival and that sort of thing has always been something that's been interesting to me, or even important, as I've always had an interest in the wilderness and going out there and camping and that sort of thing. So today, in my speech, I will be talking to you about, or I will be previewing a couple of important survival skills. I'll be going through where you can learn these important skills, and then I'll be talking about, even if you never end up in one of these situations, how these skills can be useful in your life. So that's essentially it. So basic skills. Now, these skills were taken from the website it was not online, it was survivalawareness.school.com, I think. And so the skills that they lay out for you are, the first skill is basically just knowing how to make a fire. Now, making a fire and just knowing how to do that and what's important about it is a very versatile, or making a fire is a versatile thing, because you can do a lot of things with it. It keeps you warm. It can help you cook food, and then it can also act as a sort of signal for rescuers, which, all of that's very important. Another thing, of course, is making and maintaining or finding a shelter, which will keep you protected from the elements and can also protect you from hazardous wildlife as well. And then one last skill which is useful is just locating food and water, which finding water should be one of the first things you should always do, as you only have 4 days to go without water before you eventually dehydrate and die. While finding food is more of a secondary thing, as you can go for a long time without food. Now then, of course, obviously these were only basic skills, and I was only just telling you about it. Now, if you want to actually learn these skills, an important thing that should be done is to find, where to learn them. And there are quite a few places where you can learn them. For example, all across America, there are many dedicated schools for wilderness survival. For example, there's the Jack Mountain Bushcraft Academy, as well as the Shepherd Mountain Survival School, both of which are very good schools which you can go to and kind of get the best education for survival. However, if you don't really have time for going up into an academy, going to a school, you can also just find this sort of stuff online, like the website that I mentioned earlier, which was survivalawareness.org or .com, which is a good place where you can find survival skills and you can practice it in your backyard if you need to. Now then, what if you never really need these skills in life? Let's say you never end up, never end up stranded in the woods or something like that. Now, you can still find some good uses of these skills, such as, let's say you have a interest in camping or something like that. These skills can help you with making sure that you remain safe out in the wilderness. Make sure you never end up becoming stranded or really needing these skills for a life or death sort of thing. And then another use for these skills would be for first aid, because in survival skills, first aid is always something that is taught in case you get injured out in the wilderness. So, yeah, these are two skills. And all right, the conclusion is, in conclusion, everyone, I think, could really use these survival skills in some way. Like, no matter who you are, just having the basics can really save your life if you end up in a situation while you're out there. So, but in the end, I really hope that none of you actually do need these skills for a life or death situation. So, yeah.